Eyewitness News is your local election headquarters, and Indiana's primaries are officially 2 months away. Today we have an exclusive look at the results of a new poll of Indiana voters that we conducted with Emerson College and The Hill.
In the crowded Republican primary for governor, it's a six-way race for the nomination, with our poll showing Indiana Senator Mike Braun out in front by double digits. You see it on the graphic there. Eyewitness News State House reporter Hannah Adamson joins us live now to give us a breakdown of these poll results. Good morning.
Good morning, and as you mentioned, it really is a good sign for Senator Mike Braun. He was able to effectively capture at this time a third of the Republican electorate. So in terms of his campaign strategy, he's really going to want to make sure that gap remains as wide as possible, again leading all of the other competitors on the Republican side by double digits. But one of the most interesting finds of this poll, 43% of Indiana Republicans who participated said we're not exactly sure who we're going to vote for. Now, keep in mind, we're still 2 months away. A lot can change. This is a snapshot of what voters are feeling in this moment. But again, still a long way to go for the other candidates to find a way to catch up to Senator Braun.
So, Hannah, you just said in that poll 43% unsure of who they would vote as the Republican candidate. Is that unusual to have that sort of a number?
Not necessarily, and that's good news for the other candidates who are trailing behind Senator Braun. Now, again, it's not going to be easy for them to catch up, but when you look at the top concerns among Indiana Republicans, which would be the economy, crime, and immigration, what they really need to hone in on, who are these unsure voters, if you will, which of these matter the most to them. In fact, 40% of voters who aren't sure say that crime is the most important issue to them. So if these other candidates can really capitalize on those issues, they're already in relatively good shape. But again, they're really going to have to get into crunch time if they plan on catching up. So no, not necessarily unusual to see that amount of voters who are unsure, but again, still a lot of catch up for the other candidates.
And Hannah, how will an early poll like this affect campaign strategies and even more so, obviously, those contributions?
Well, for contributions, it's really hard to tell. But again, campaign strategy, figure out how to reach those unsure voters, really get into, especially when you have the majority of unsure or uncertain, undecided voters who are women, younger folks, what issues matter most to them. What this means, for example, the second place or second ranking candidate, I should say, Lieutenant Governor Crouch. I know that one of her big talking points is the Axe the Tax plan. That's her plan to try and get rid of the state income tax eventually. I know that a lot of Democrats and Republicans in the General Assembly say you need to figure out how you would avert an $8 billion shortfall in the budget if you try to eliminate the state income tax. So if she can really hone in on why that plan and how that plan is going to work, she might have a shot. But again, you really need to focus on those top three issues to those undecided voters, which would be the economy, crime, and immigration.
So, Hannah, let's talk about Governor Holcomb. He can't run for governor. He's at term limits here. Have you heard anything? Is he expected to endorse the Lieutenant Governor Crouch, since she's been Lieutenant Governor for, I think, since about 2017?
Well, Governor Holcomb has been really tight-lipped about who he is going to endorse for the gubernatorial race. I think he, like many Hoosiers, are just playing the waiting game, trying to figure out who Hoosiers will end up supporting overall in the end. I think when I last talked to him in December, he made it very clear at the time it was not an issue he was willing to comment on. And it certainly was more or less along the lines of, hey, I'm in my last term. That's what I really want to focus in on in this moment. Again, Lieutenant Governor Crouch has been there 7-8 years. It's really hard to say at this time. Realistically, I'm not sure if it would be justifiable to really back a candidate that's polling so low. But again, polls are only a snapshot. They're not an indicator of future behavior. It's not like it can predict the future. Rather, it gives a snapshot in this particular moment. So Lieutenant Governor Crouch, for example, has the backing of more than 100 different current and former politicians from all levels of government in Indiana. When you're talking Indiana Senate Republicans, she has the endorsements of Senator Ryan Mishler, Senator Vanita Becker, Senator Liz Brown. I mean, talk about a political firebrand for the Indiana State Senate Republicans. So she has a plethora of support, and compared to her competition, a really impressive list. So again, if Governor Holcomb joins, has yet to be seen.
Okay, Hannah, thanks so much for your time this morning. We really do look forward to speaking with you more as the election draws near.
And don't forget, coming up on March 26, Eyewitness News will air a debate featuring the Republican candidates for Indiana governor. They include, like we just mentioned, Lieutenant Governor Suzanne Crouch, U.S. Senator Mike Braun, Brad Chambers, Curtis Hill, Eric Doden, and Jamie Rittenauer. The one-hour debate will air live on ABC 25 at 6. Eyewitness News at 6 will not air that night. And don't forget, we have all those poll results on our website for you right now, tristatehomepage.com.